I'm sorry, sir, but this event is by invitation only. Leonardo DiCaprio blinked twice, momentarily stunned into silence. The muscular security guard blocking his path stood firm, arms crossed over his chest, the Mediterranean sun glinting off his aviator sunglasses. Behind him, the spectacular 300-foot superyacht Azure Dreams floated majestically in Monaco's harbor, its multiple decks teeming with beautiful people in expensive swimwear. There must be some mistake, Leo said, keeping his voice low. He had deliberately dressed down for the occasion, faded jeans, a plain white t-shirt, his trademark baseball cap pulled low, and a pair of sunglasses. The casual anonymity usually served him well, allowing him to move through crowds without causing a scene. Today, it seemed to be working a little too well. No mistake, sir, the guard replied, his Eastern European accent thick and unyielding. Private party. Invitation only. He gestured toward the gangway leading back to the dock. Please. Leonardo glanced over his shoulder, looking for his assistant who had wandered off to take a phone call just moments before. She had all the invitation details. He considered pulling out his phone to call her but realized he'd left it charging in his hotel suite. Look, I'm Leonardo DiCaprio. I was personally invited by Vincent Laurent. Vincent was a French tech billionaire known for throwing lavish parties for the elite. This particular yacht gathering was supposedly an exclusive celebration of his company's latest breakthrough in AI technology. The security guard's expression didn't change. Yes, and I am Brad Pitt, he said with deadpan delivery. Many people try this, sir. Please leave now, or I call for backup. Leo couldn't help but laugh. In 25 years of stardom, he'd been recognized everywhere from remote villages in Thailand to penguin research stations in Antarctica. Yet here he was, being dismissed as an imposter at a party he was supposed to headline. Seriously, I am Leonardo DiCaprio. Can you just check the guest list? The guard sighed heavily, reaching for his radio. Anton, I have another one claiming to be DiCaprio. Older guy this time. More convincing than most. Older guy? Leo winced internally. Understood, came the crackled response. Send him away. Mr. Laurent will text when the real DiCaprio arrives. The guard smiled thinly. You hear that? The real DiCaprio is expected. Nice try. People on the lower deck were starting to stare. A few took out their phones, recording the interaction. Great. This would be all over social media within minutes, Leonardo DiCaprio getting bounced from a party like some nobody trying to sneak in. This is ridiculous, Leo muttered, his celebrity patience wearing thin. Can you at least call Vincent? Mr. Laurent is busy with important guests. The guard placed a firm hand on Leo's shoulder. Time to go. Just as he was about to give up and retreat with what dignity he had left, a shout came from behind. Leo! Leo! There you are! It was Tobey Maguire, his longtime friend, rushing down the gangway in linen pants and a blue blazer, drink in hand. I've been looking all over for you. Tobey called, then noticed the security guard's hand still on Leo's shoulder. What's happening here? The guard removed his hand but remained skeptical. This man claims he is Leonardo DiCaprio. Tobey stared in disbelief, then burst out laughing. Claims? This is Leonardo DiCaprio, you idiot. We've been friends for 30 years. The guard's composure faltered slightly, but he stood his ground. Sir, I need to see identification or invitation. Are you serious right now? Tobey exclaimed. This is the most famous actor on the planet. He's won an Oscar. He was in Titanic. What the hell? A small crowd had gathered now, watching the spectacle with growing interest. Someone in the back shouted, that really does look like DiCaprio. The guard was sweating now, uncertainty creeping across his face. He spoke into his radio again, voice lower. Anton, I may have a situation here. An hour later, the same security guard was practically groveling. Mr. DiCaprio, I cannot express how deeply sorry I am for the misunderstanding, he said, having removed his sunglasses to reveal anxious eyes. If you could possibly sign this for my daughter? She's your biggest fan. Leo, now comfortably settled on a plush couch in the yacht's main lounge with a drink in hand, regarded the guard with a mixture of amusement and lingering annoyance. The man was holding out a cocktail napkin and pen with trembling hands. What's your name? Leo asked. Mikhail, sir. And your daughter's? Anastasia. She is 16 and has posters of you all over her room. She watches Titanic every month since she was 12. Leo smiled despite himself and took the napkin. To Anastasia, he wrote, dreams are important. Never let anyone tell you who you can or can't be. Leonardo DiCaprio. Mikhail accepted the signed napkin with reverence. Thank you, Mr. DiCaprio. I will be fired, of course, but this will make it worth it. You're not getting fired, Leo assured him. I already talked to Vincent. Though you might want to brush up on recognizing celebrities. After Mikhail retreated, still bowing repeatedly, Toby dropped onto the couch beside Leo. Only you could get kicked off a party yacht and end up being treated like royalty an hour later, Toby laughed. I'm still not over being called older guy, Leo replied, taking a sip of his environmentally friendly paper-strawed drink. Vincent Laurent, their host, approached with open arms. The French billionaire was in his 50s, tanned and fit, with salt and pepper hair and the confident air of someone who could buy small countries on a whim. Leonardo. The man of the hour. I've heard about this little incident, Vincent said, kissing Leo on both cheeks. Please accept my deepest apologies. That security team has been replaced. I've hired an entirely new crew who have been shown photographs of every VIP guest. That seems excessive, Leo commented. Nothing is excessive when it comes to my guests' comfort, Vincent declared grandly. Besides, I cannot have the face of my new environmental initiative treated like a common gatecrasher, can I? Ah, yes. The initiative. That was why Leo had agreed to come to this party in the first place. Vincent Laurent's company had developed some new carbon capture technology that promised to extract greenhouse gases from the atmosphere more efficiently than existing methods. As a passionate environmental activist, Leo had been intrigued enough to lend his name and face to the project. About that, Leo began, I'd like to review the specifics again before we make any announcements. Of course, Vincent waved dismissively. But first, enjoy the party. Let me introduce you to some people. As Vincent led him through the crowded yacht, Leo noticed something odd. Despite the party being in full swing, music playing, champagne flowing, beautiful people laughing, there was a strange undercurrent of tension. He caught snippets of hushed conversations that would abruptly halt when people noticed him approaching. Several guests were huddled over phones and tablets, looking concerned. Vincent, Leo said quietly, is everything okay? People seem on edge. Perfect. Everything is perfect. Vincent replied too enthusiastically. Just business matters. You know how these tech people are, always connected, always working. Before Leo could press further, they were interrupted by a stunning woman in a white sundress. Leonardo, Vincent said, meet Elena Kuznetsova, our chief scientist. Elena had sharp features, piercing blue eyes, and an intensity that seemed at odds with the frivolous party atmosphere. Mr. DiCaprio, an honor, she said with a slight Russian accent. I've followed your environmental work for years. Elena has been the driving force behind our carbon capture innovation, Vincent explained. I'd love to hear more about it, Leo said. Elena glanced at Vincent, who gave an almost imperceptible nod. Perhaps somewhere more private, she suggested. The technology is complicated. Vincent beamed. Use my office on the lower deck. Complete privacy. As Leo followed Elena through the yacht, he couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. This was supposed to be a celebration, but it felt more like a cover for something else. Elena led him to a sleek office at the back of the yacht. As soon as the door closed behind them, her demeanor changed completely. "Mr. DiCaprio," she said urgently, "you are in danger." "We all are." Leo stared at Elena, trying to process her words. "What are you talking about?" Elena moved to the windows and closed the blinds, then activated a small device from her purse. "Signal jammer," she explained. "We can speak freely now." She took a deep breath. "The carbon capture technology is real, but it's not what Vincent told you. It doesn't just remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. It can be modified to distribute substances, chemicals, biological agents, anything, on a massive scale." Leo's mind reeled. "You're saying it's a weapon?" "A delivery system," Elena corrected. "The most efficient ever created. Undetectable. Unstoppable. And Vincent has sold it to some very dangerous people." "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I never signed up to create a weapon," Elena said fiercely. "I'm a climate scientist. I wanted to save the world, not help destroy it. And because you have influence. People listen to you." "If this is true, we need to go to the authorities," Leo said. Elena laughed bitterly. "Vincent has half the officials in Monaco on his payroll. And the buyers, let's just say they have even greater reach." "Who are the buyers?" "A consortium. Government officials, private military contractors, industrialists. They call themselves the Catalyst Group. They believe climate change is inevitable and are positioning themselves to control what comes after." Leo's head was spinning. An hour ago, his biggest problem had been an overzealous security guard. Now he was being told about a global conspiracy. "I need proof," he said finally. Elena nodded, pulling a small drive from her necklace pendant. "Everything is here. Research data, communication logs, meeting recordings. I've been gathering it for months." She handed him the drive. "The official announcement of your partnership with Vincent's company is scheduled for tomorrow. Once your name is attached to this technology, you'll be complicit in whatever they do with it." Leo closed his fist around the tiny drive. "Why was I even invited? Why risk having me involved at all?" "Legitimacy," Elena explained. "Your environmental credibility would silence potential critics and provide the perfect cover. Who would suspect anything sinister behind a project endorsed by Leonardo DiCaprio?" A sharp knock at the door made them both jump. "Elena? Leo? Vincent's looking for you both." It was Toby. "Just discussing the technical details," Leo called back, trying to keep his voice steady. "We'll be right out." Elena grabbed his arm. "Be careful who you trust. Even old friends." "Toby? No, he wouldn't be involved in something like this." "Maybe not knowingly," Elena whispered. "But Vincent is very persuasive. And generous." The knock came again, more insistent. "We should go back before they get suspicious," Elena said, deactivating the jammer. "Act normal. Smile. Drink. If they suspect I've told you anything, neither of us will leave this yacht alive." As they emerged from the office, Leo plastered on his best actor's smile. Vincent and Toby were waiting, both looking slightly concerned. "There you are," Vincent exclaimed. "I was beginning to think Elena had bored you to death with scientific details." "Not at all," Leo replied smoothly. "It's fascinating stuff. Revolutionary." Vincent studied him for a moment, then smiled. "Excellent. Then you'll be even more excited for the demonstration tomorrow. A small test of our device, just for key investors." Leo felt a chill. "Test? You didn't mention a test." Just a formality, Vincent assured him. A controlled release over an uninhabited area. Completely harmless. Elena's face remained impassive, but Leo could see the tension in her shoulders. Sounds great, Leo lied. Looking forward to it. As they rejoined the party, Leo caught Toby watching him with an unreadable expression. Had his old friend noticed something off? Was he part of this? Leo suddenly felt very alone on a yacht full of people. He needed to get that drive to someone he could trust. But first, he had to get off this floating trap alive. As the evening progressed, Leo maintained his cool exterior while his mind raced. The flash drive felt like it was burning a hole in his pocket. He mingled, laughed at jokes, posed for discreet photos with other guests, all while watching Vincent and his entourage from the corner of his eye. Elena had disappeared into the crowd, keeping her distance as they'd agreed. According to her hurried instructions, they would meet at the yacht's helipad at midnight. A helicopter was scheduled to take some guests back to Nice, their best chance to escape. At 11:30, Leo excused himself from a conversation with a Saudi prince and made his way toward his assigned guest cabin to retrieve his phone. He needed to contact someone outside this floating palace of secrets, maybe his security team or his longtime environmental lawyer who had connections with federal agencies. As he rounded a corner in the plush corridor, he nearly collided with Mikhail, the security guard who had earlier denied him entry. "Mr. DiCaprio," Mikhail said with surprise, then lowered his voice. "You should not be alone. Mr. Laurent has ordered special attention for you." Leo tensed. "What kind of attention?" "The kind that watches every move," Mikhail replied cryptically. "I was reassigned, not fired. Now I monitor security feeds. Your cabin, it is being searched right now." Leo's blood ran cold. "By who?" "Men I do not know. Not regular security." Mikhail hesitated. "I should not tell you this, but something feels wrong tonight. Many armed men arrived after dark. They do not wear uniforms, but they carry concealed weapons." "Why are you helping me?" Leo asked, suspicious. Mikhail looked pained. "My brother was environmental activist in Russia. He disappeared 3 years ago after protesting pipeline. You remind me of him." He pressed a key card into Leo's hand. "Service elevator. We'll take you to lower deck. Avoid main stairs, they are watched." "Thank you," Leo said, genuinely moved. Mikhail nodded once. "I never saw you." Duh, Leo confirmed, pocketing the key card. Instead of continuing to his cabin, Leo changed direction, taking a service passage that Mikhail had pointed out. His phone would have to wait. Getting off this yacht alive had become the priority. The service elevator was small and utilitarian, a stark contrast to the yacht's opulent guest areas. Leo descended to the lower deck, emerging in a narrow corridor lined with pipes and electrical conduits. The sounds of engines hummed below. He checked his watch, 11:45. 15 minutes to reach the helipad on the upper deck without being spotted. Leo moved carefully through the service areas, grateful for the baseball cap that helped obscure his face from security cameras. He passed crew members who barely gave him a second glance, assuming he belonged there. He was nearing a stairwell that would take him upward when he heard voices ahead, one of them Toby's. "I'm telling you, he was acting weird after talking to the Russian woman," Toby was saying. "I've known Leo for decades. He's hiding something." "Mr. Laurent is concerned as well," replied a gruff voice Leo didn't recognize. "The announcement tomorrow is crucial. We can't afford any complications." "I'm not suggesting anything drastic," Toby said, sounding uncomfortable. "Just keep an eye on him." "Of course," the other man replied with a chilling lack of inflection. "We're very good at keeping eyes on people." Leo pressed himself against the wall, heart pounding. Toby was working with them. His oldest friend was part of whatever this was. The voices moved away, and Leo released the breath he'd been holding. New plan needed. The helipad would be watched now. He pulled out his phone to check the time, 11:52. 8 minutes until Elena would be expecting him. A sudden vibration made him jump before he realized it was Mikhail's key card. It was also a communication device, with text scrolling across a tiny screen, helipad compromised. Meet at tender garage. Port side. The tender garage, where the yacht's smaller boats were stored. Of course. They could escape using one of the yacht's own vessels. Leo changed direction, descending one more level. The tender garage was a large area at the waterline where the yacht stored its secondary craft, speedboats, jet skis, and a small submarine for underwater exploration. One wall was actually a giant door that opened directly to the sea. When he arrived, the garage appeared empty except for the vessels secured in their berths. "Elena," he called softly. A figure emerged from behind a sleek speedboat, not Elena, but Mikhail. "Where's Elena?" Leo demanded. "Detained," Mikhail said grimly. "They found her computer. They know she copied files. We have to help her." "No time," Mikhail insisted. "More security coming. Vincent has called emergency meeting of all key investors. They discuss what to do with you both." "I can't just leave her," Leo protested. "She gave me this for you," Mikhail said, handing over a satellite phone. "Said to call only number programmed in it when you reach shore. Said to tell you, the proof is enough." Leo took the phone, conflict written across his face. "Please," Mikhail urged. "I have wife, daughter. I cannot be involved more than this. Take the small boat. It has full fuel." The sound of a door opening somewhere above them settled it. Leo clasped Mikhail's shoulder. "Thank you. Get your family somewhere safe." Mikhail nodded grimly and helped Leo into the smallest, fastest boat, a black stealth craft with minimal markings. "This has silent mode. Use it until you clear the harbor." Leo settled into the pilot's seat as Mikhail activated the garage door. The Mediterranean night air rushed in as the massive panel slid upward, revealing the twinkling lights of Monaco's harbor beyond. "Good luck, Mr. DiCaprio," Mikhail said, then disappeared back into the yacht. Leo engaged the boat's silent electric motor and slipped out into the darkness, keeping his speed low to avoid creating a wake. The Azure Dreams loomed behind him, its deck still glittering with party lights, giving no indication of the darkness lurking within. Once he'd put sufficient distance between himself and the yacht, Leo opened the throttle. The boat surged forward, cutting through the waves toward the shore. He had the drive, the satellite phone, and a story so outlandish that no one might believe it, except that he was Leonardo DiCaprio, and people tended to listen when he spoke. As the shores of Monaco grew closer, Leo felt a pang of guilt about Elena. Had he sentenced her to death by escaping? Or was this what she had planned all along, using him as the messenger while she created a distraction? Either way, he now carried the responsibility of exposing Vincent Laurent and the Catalyst Group before their demonstration tomorrow. The world needed to know what was really happening behind the glamorous facade of environmental innovation. Leo docked at a small, private marina away from the main harbor, secured the boat, and found a secluded spot to make the call on the satellite phone. There was indeed only one number programmed into it. It rang 3 times before a woman's voice answered, not Elena's. "Identification code," the voice demanded. Leo hesitated. "I don't have one. Elena gave me this phone. I'm Leonardo DiCaprio," the voice finished. "We've been expecting your call. Stay where you are. Extraction team is 4 minutes out." "Who is this?" Leo asked. "Who's we?" "Let's just say we're the counterweight to the Catalyst Group," the woman replied. "And you, Mr. DiCaprio, have just become our most valuable asset." As Leo waited in the shadows, watching headlights approach along the Marina Road, he couldn't help but think back to the security guard who had failed to recognize him just hours ago. That simple case of mistaken identity had thrust him into a world of conspiracy and danger that no movie script could have prepared him for. And something told him this was just the beginning. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoy this video and learned a lesson. I would be grateful for your likes. Also don't forget to subscribe and comment on the video. See you soon.